Hey, here I am with Jeff Big Tiki Dude Hanson from SG101 Weekender. How are you, Jeff?
Very good, Ryan. How are you?
Okay. Um, my my yearly call to talk about your SG101 festival is here, and I want to make sure everybody knows about it and where and when and how to proceed.
Yes, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Tell me, give me the basic rundown, and then we'll get into more details later on.
Well, the first of all, um, being that it's a rough economy, you know, everybody's having a little bit of a hard time this year. So things are a wee bit stressful. So
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah.
we're hoping that that everything, you know, goes according to plans and that the event, you know, goes off without a hitch, which it should. But we're wanting to get some people there. So hopefully, some of you that see this video will think about attending the event. So it's a 3-day surf music festival for those of you who've never seen or heard about this before. And it's the Surf Guitar 101 Festival Weekender, and it's August 1st through 3rd at the Golden Sails Hotel in Long Beach, California. And it's the hotel itself is sold out, but if you go to the website, we recommend other hotels or a motel that's a little bit of a 10-minute drive away, but we got good prices on that. Um, like I said, it's a 3-day event. Tons of bands, like 30 bands, 30, 32. I can't remember. It's all a blur. Um, and you can attend 1 day or 2 days, but if you buy the 3-day ticket, um, A, you save some money, and B, you get put in a drawing to win a ticket for next year's festival. So that's a little incentive that we just threw out there. So if you bought the tickets before, you're entered into it. If you only have 1 or 2 days already, if you upgrade to a 3-day ticket, you get entered. And if you just buy a 3-day ticket now, you're entered. So everybody that has a 3-day ticket, when you check in at the event, you get a little raffle ticket, and somebody will win next year's festival.
Awesome, awesome. I saw one of the unfortunately one of the bands that was supposed to play on the show, LHD, was not appearing. But give me some of your personal highlights, achievements for this
Yeah,
this year.
actually, I have to say 2 of the international bands canceled. We had the Surfers from Poland and LHD from Croatia. They both had to pull out. They were just not feeling cool about coming to America right now in these rough, you know, political times. They didn't want to get to the airport and get turned away. We're hearing about many bands that is happening to. So they said, well, they'll probably get in okay, but they didn't want to take the chance, and I totally understand that. So we got the
Yeah,
local band. We got the local band, the Volcanics, to take the place of the Surfers, and we got Jimmy Dale, Dick Dale's son, to take the place of LHD. And Dusty Watson will be playing drums with Jimmy Dale, and then Jimmy's got a friend of his on bass.
excellent, excellent. Well, I mean, if you look at the roster on the fly, it is just it really is your biggest effort so far. And I want people to understand it's not just coming and seeing bands. I was there, and I know there's a lot more activities going on. I want to talk about those.
Well, yeah, the first of all is I wanted to book like 25 or 26 bands, and I started off with a list of like 40 or so, and I had to whittle it down. And then, you know, we were realizing I was wanting to get a couple big bands, you know, like Straight Jackets or Man or Asker Man, and then those didn't come through. So I was like, well, want to add Aqua Velvets. That's a reunion of the NorCal band. The Aqua Velvets doing the original lineup, doing songs only from their first 3 albums. And then we added the Surf Coasters from Japan, and they're only playing at Surf Guitar 101. They're not doing any tour or anything. So those are 2 big additions right there. And then we added 2 bands playing in the gazebo by the pool on Saturday and Sunday morning from 9:30 to 11:30, because we have the whole hotel. It's just us. So
with the bands playing by the gazebo.
So Little Kahuna, you know Craig Skelly.
Oh yeah.
He's his band's playing Saturday morning, and then Seatbelt. They're a rockabilly band, but they do surf also, and they just released an EP of surf songs, and so they're playing Sunday morning. And we're quite stoked to have them.
Well, I think one of the, I mean, of course, it would have been great to have Marin Rashkin here, but the fact that you're having the surf coasters, there's a huge incentive.
Yeah, some of the big names for each night. So Friday night is NorCal night. It's all NorCal bands. So the headliners are. Of course, I said Aqua Velvets, and then also Frankie and the Pool Boys playing and promoting their new album, Endless Drummer. And then we just found out about this band a couple of years ago, but it turns out they've been around like 20 years or so, and they're called the Bloat Floaters, and they're from Stockton, which is in Central California.
Yeah.
And they're really good. I've seen them down here a couple times at pier shows and Winter Surf Fest, and they're great people. And the wife of the guitar player, she does a thing called Band to Hand, where she sells merchandise for other bands also. That's really cool. Saturday night is the big night, of course. That's the 13-hour day. The headliners are Deke Dickerson, who is a rockabilly guy, but he started with the Untamed Youth. But him and Mel from the Phantom Surfers, Garrett from the Ghastly Ones, John Paul on bass, and Duff from the Torquay on drums. They're going to do a tribute to the astronauts. So that's the first big band for Saturday night. And then the other one is the Phantom Surfers from Northern California. I don't believe they played in SoCal for like 10 or more years. And this is the first time for them playing SG101. And then, of course, Jackie and the Cedrics from Japan. Somebody told me they haven't been in SoCal in like 20 years. I remember seeing them back in the late 90s or around 2000. So that's really cool to get them, they played Bay Area, San Francisco area a lot, but to get them down here and playing at SG101 is pretty cool. And then on Sunday night, we have, let me think, Jimmy Dale, and we have Surf Coasters from Japan. And then we're finishing up the night with Deadbolt, who aren't really a surf band, but they got tons of reverb, and they're called the scariest band in the world. And I would tend to agree. I don't know if you've heard Deadbolt, but they're a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do they set things on fire?
Say again, I'm sorry?
Do they set things on fire?
No. They do a grinder, and sparks go flying everywhere, but they don't set things on fire like Daikaju or Bomboras. Yeah. Anyways, Deadbolt does a song called Tiki Man, and that's like my theme song.
Oh, nice.
That's a really good one. Their first like 6 or 7 albums are like etched into my brain from when I saw them back in the late 90s. They're great.
What do you think is different from that time, the late 90s, when you were a young guy in the surf scene? What is different now than at that time?
The bands that are still playing are a lot older, and I'm older. When I got into surf, I was 25, and now I'm 53. So all this gray hair in my beard, it's all within the last like 5 years.
Oh, really?
What's that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, the scene-wise, though, unfortunately, when I go to shows, smaller shows like bar shows and stuff, the crowd is a lot smaller because there's some people that were older when I first got into surf, and they've either passed away or they just don't feel like going out anymore. So, I miss some of those people, that I used to see at shows. And one of them was a good friend of mine, Baja Marty. He passed away about 7 years ago. And I miss that guy every day. He was my brother from another mother. And if you get the Reverb Junkies DVD, he's in that a couple times, showing his love for the surf and the surf family.
Oh man!
Have you seen that? Have you seen that movie, or do you have it?
No, on your recommendation, I bought it. So I do have the DVD.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say, if you didn't have it, I could send you one. I got an extra.
No, I bought one, and
Oh,
I
that's
do
right.
have
I
Randy's.
remember. I remember now. You showed me. It was sitting on the counter.
Yeah, yeah.
Right
I,
on.
I think one of the things that slips through the cracks is how huge the surf community really is, and that really there are a lot of young people. They're not into and going to shows like we were.
I would say the younger people for the surf scene are into the younger bands, like say Messer
Yeah,
Traps, Surfer Jets, and some of the younger bands that are not quite as popular. They may not be into the old traditional bands from the '60s, or like say the Eliminators from the '90s. They would have no idea who they are. And then of course there's some of those hybrid bands like La Lam or God, I can't even think of their names. But there's these new bands that are popping up where they're kind of like alternative meets surf, and they're mixing in different elements of like indie or Latin music. So
yeah,
there's this new thing where there's these kind of newer bands where they're going different directions. But it's surf inspired.
yeah. There's the gentleman Sismalak in Mexico. He's in like 6 bands, and they're all different offshoots of surf. And
One thing I
there's a
needed
lot
to
of like.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, I was just going to say, thinking of the DVD, for those that do or don't know, there's a documentary about the '60s surf scene called The Sound of Surf. And it's
Yeah,
been like 18 years in the making. And it's finally finished. And you can stream it. But if you did a fundraiser, if you donated to the fundraiser, I can't remember if it was Kickstarter or the other one, but if you donated, it will be available at the event. You can either buy it, but if you are coming to SG101, John Blair will be there, and he'll be handing those out to the people that donated. So contact John Blair, through his email address or through Facebook, and let him know that you're coming, and he'll hand it to you. Then that way he won't have to mail it to you and spend another $5 on top of all the money he's donated over the years, which is quite a bit.
yeah. Oh, that's good to know that a physical copy will exist for it, because I know that those aren't cheap and free.
Yeah. So there's going to be tons and tons of vendors there. Raffle prizes. We know some of it's just CDs and LPs and stuff like that. But then we've got guitars and amplifiers and effects pedals. All different kinds of. I mean, the list is like 20 or 25 different things. But all the different surf labels send product, whether it be CDs or vinyl or both. There's like 6 different labels that are sending me boxes of stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And will they be able to get that from the Band to Hand booth?
Yeah, I mean, Band to Hand will be there, and they'll be selling, because Bloat Floaters are playing. But I was just going to say, the stuff that, the labels are sending me, I can't guarantee that, everything, that they send will be at Band to Hand. Maybe some of them. There's going to be a lot of new releases. A lot of the bands that are playing, they're either having new releases coming or been out for a month or so. So that's pretty cool. It's for some of the band, like the Nova Rays from NorCal. This is their album release party.
Oh yeah. I love Lewis Bailey.
Yeah, good guy. I chat with him at least once a month. He's a fun guy, like a mushroom.
Oh, like totally fun.
There's food.
One of the things that stuck out to me. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was say at the event, there's food and drink available. Doors open at 4:00 on Friday. Music's at 5, and then Saturday and Sunday doors are at 10. John Paul will be doing interviews at 11. Saturday is Bob Spickard from the Shantays, and Sunday is Bob Daly of the Surf Raiders, the 80s band.
Oh, wow, he's going?
Yeah, he's coming. He's going to be selling the last bits of CDs and records and posters and stuff. He used to have a newspaper back in the 90s, and people would send him, CDs and records to review. And he knows that he's getting older and he's going to be, moving on to the next level. So they speak, or so they say. So he knows he needs to get rid of all this stuff so his daughter and son don't have to sell it all. So, but the last 2 times he came here, when we were at Alpine Village in Torrance, he brought so much stuff. And both years that he was here, I spent like over $400 buying CDs and 45s and stuff. It was crazy. God. And he even gave me good deals, It was $400. It's crazy. Although I told him, I said, I'll help you load in, but I get first dibs looking at all the boxes before the public gets there. Not that I need any more. Not that I need any more records. Wait, hold on. I said, not that I need any more records or CDs. I've got thousands, but I just want to take a look, and if anything jumps out where I know it's out of print from like the early 90s that I don't have, I want to be able to nab a couple things.
I did see your collection. It takes up an entire room.
Right now it's in 3 different rooms. I'm in the computer room, and there's some in here, and then there's a ton in my bedroom, and then now my brother moved out of the house, so there's another room that there's CDs in there. It's quite alarming and overwhelming that I need to get everything in order.
The year that I came out, the SG101, there was shows leading up to the actual festival. Do you still have mini shows all over Los Angeles? Well,
first of all, it just got confirmed the weekend before Surf Guitar 101, there's shows in Northern California, which in the past, before my mom passed away, I used to go up to Northern California for the shows that they do up there. But I just can't get up there. I work and I have to take care of my dad and stuff like that. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday in SoCal, before Surf Guitar 101, they have a Dewey's record release party on the Friday. The Scimitars are at a beer brewery in Anaheim on the Saturday. And then I have a show on the Doll Hut in Anaheim on Sunday from 3 to 6 with 3 bands. So that's the weekend before. Then as it's leading up to the show, the Frigidaires from Atlanta and Little Kahuna are playing at Surf Dogs in Huntington Beach on the Wednesday. And then on the Thursday, we always do a show at the Barclay, and that's the restaurant/bar that Frankie from the Volcanics, him and his brother, own. So that's the Volcanics, Space Agency from England, and Fuzzy Yama Surfers from Japan on that Thursday night. And then the SG101 is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm trying to think. So my partners for SG101 were telling me I needed to say some things. Trying to remember now. It sucks as you get older, your brain starts to go.
Well, where can they get the tickets?
So there's 2 websites, surfguitar101.com. Sorry, let me start over. surfguitar101festival.com. That's our website. John Paul, that's in many bands, runs that website. It lists all the bands. It has bios about the bands. It's listing all the items that are going to be in the raffle and stuff. I'm going to start posting those on Facebook and on Surf Guitar 101, the forum, but they're on the website. And then there's a link from there to the ticket website, and the ticket website is stellarshows.net. STELLAR shows.net, stellarshows.net. And like I said before, you can get single day tickets, but if you buy 3 days, you save money. And if you buy 3 day, you also get put in the drawing to win tickets for next year.
What I would think is a great point is that people, like bands, international bands, make it a point to schedule this on their calendar every year as an opportunity to come to the United States. And then we'll only play this show once a year.
Yeah, so we had 6 bands scheduled, 6 international bands, which is the most ever. Unfortunately, the 2 that we discussed earlier cut out, but we still have Space Agency from England, and then 3 Japanese bands, and that's Fuzzyama Surfers, Surf Coasters, and the Jackie and the Cedrics. So that's pretty cool. Had a couple Japanese bands before, but this is the first time to ever have 3. And I'm trying to think of what else I need to mention. There's so much this year. It's overwhelming.
Well, is there going to be any, like you said, there's a lot of vendors there and a lot of sponsors, and I know Lorenzo's a huge supporter of yours.
Yeah,
Surf. In any way, shape, or form?
I'm having a hard time hearing you. There's so much echo. Say that again slower.
Can anybody, are there going to be anything, vendors related to surfing industries and gear as well as guitars and stuff like that?
Yes, Ted from Satan's Pilgrims is a member of the Surfy Industries, and he is coming down and will be vending. I think it's just the Saturday, so if you're wanting to see any of that product, you want to make sure you get there on Saturday. The 2 things that they're donating to the raffle is the new Surfy Bear Compact, I think it's called, and it has a built-in tremolo also. So it's the compact reverb. It's got real springs in it, but it's smaller than the big classic, and then it has a built-in tremolo also. And then there's also a vibrato pedal, the Surfy Vibe. So they're donating 2 different things. And if you haven't heard the Surfy stuff, you got to check out the videos for their stuff. It's top notch.
Yeah, we did a series on the Surfy Bear on Pirate. 10 bands did videos about it.
Cool. Again, all the stuff that'll be donated for the raffle, it's all on the website, the surfguitar101festival.com. You can see it there. There's a separate page for all the donations, and John Paul's just finishing that up today.
Excellent. So give me an idea of what the prices are for people who are going to come out and make a weekend of it, or a week of it, since there's so many shows. They want to travel.
You say the prices or the places?
Yeah, the price for the weekend or ticket.
Well, first of all, there's general admission, and then there is seated guaranteed seats. So if you get the seated, where you get a guaranteed seat, it's around $200. I haven't looked at the site in a while, so you have to forgive me. But and that's a little bit of money, but when you consider there's 30 bands, it's around $5 a band. So when we used to be a 1-day event and it was $40, it was the same thing. It was around $5 a band. So people might think that $200 is a lot, but you consider, if you go to a big arena to see 2 or 3 bands, it's usually $80 to $200 for 2 or 3 bands. Yeah. So really, surf is the best buy, and compared to, a Viva Las Vegas or a Tiki Oasis, we're still, a lot more affordable. So, we hope people, I know it's, trying economic times, but if you can afford it, we would really appreciate it if you would, come.
I think this is an opportunity where people that have an opportunity to travel and to see the bands they love, to support the cause, right? Like this is like a perfect opportunity to support. You see?
Yeah, there's a few people that have told me that they've contacted me through Facebook and say that, you know, it's such an amazing lineup that they're finally, you know, breaking down and coming, you know, which is cool, and I appreciate it. But then again, there's a lot of people that have been coming for years and years, and they said this year it's just not happening. So we're sad, but we understand,
Yeah.
you know.
I am under the understanding that people all throughout the country are kind of scrambling, and my wife included in her field, like sales is just it's like they threw away the book and they started all over again. Everybody has to change the way they do this.
Yeah, no, it's the same for, you know, like I'm doing smaller shows, you know, and the attendance on those is, you know, like 10 to 40, you know, and it's like, what happened? Where'd everybody go? So,
Yeah.
do you want me to go down the list of all the bands real quick?
Do you have the floor, sir?
Say again?
Yeah, do it. Do it. You
Okay.
have the time.
First of all, there's many flyers that we've made for this event. There's like 6 or 8 flyers floating around on social media, but here's the original. Let me tilt this back so you can see it in the light. This is done by Tom, aka Big Toe, and he's done the last 3 years. It's pretty wild, and we found out that some people are complaining that it's not really legible for older people with bad eyes. You know, for me, on the phone, I tap it and zoom in, and I can read everything. It's all there. There's all the websites at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, it lists all the bands, the smaller bands and the big bands. But if you go to the website, all the bands are listed there. But I'm going to go down the schedule from Friday all the way to Sunday. So
yeah, great.
Real quick, I won't take 10 minutes. Starting on Friday at 5 o'clock, the Nova Rays start out the day. Then the Amazing Greasy Gills, Chillingsworth Surfing Ham, the Aqua Velvets reunion show, Frankie and the Pool Boys, and then we end up with the Bloat Floaters. Actually, let me finish up. There's 3 stages for the event. We have the PCH room, the main ballroom, the Crystal Ballroom, and then there's the gazebo by the pool. We lost the PCH room for the Friday night. There's a big dance party going on. So M Squad, which is the Mike Vernon from 3 Balls of Fire, that's his side project where he's doing like crime jazz, movie soundtrack type stuff. They'll be by the pool on Friday starting at 3 p.m. and going until 8 p.m. So if you're in the area and you can come by at 2 or 3 o'clock, we got a pool party on Friday and Saturday and Sunday morning. So again, 3 o'clock on Friday, M Squad by the pool in the gazebo. And then Saturday morning is Little Kahuna by the pool. At 11 o'clock, John Paul doing the interview. Then we start with the bands at noon. We have the Other Timelines, and they're half Canada, half Tennessee, I believe. And then we have the Fuzzyama Surfers from Japan, King Pelican from Texas, the Volcanics, the Tourmaliners from San Diego, the Destroyers from Seattle, Deke Dickerson's All-Star Tribute to the Astronauts, Space Agency from England, Phantom Surfers from San Francisco, and then Jackie and the Cedrics from Japan finishing the night. My friend David Greenfield, he books shows in NorCal. He goes by Sid Presley. He'll be DJing for Saturday and Sunday for us, and I think Hunter from Storm Surge or Reverb will be DJing on the Friday, but I haven't got a confirmation from him yet, but I do know that he is coming. Sunday morning by the pool is Seatbelt. John Paul doing the interview with Bob Spickard at 11. Music-wise, we start off with a Matt Quilter from the Reventlows. Him and some friends are doing the Bobby Fuller 4 tribute. And most people think Bobby Fuller 4 did vocals and did one instro of Our Favorite Martian, but he actually did a whole album of instros before he went vocal. So they're going to do like 4/5 of that, and then 2 or 3 songs as a tribute to Brian Wilson also. We just threw that in recently. Then from Portland, Oregon, the Apollo 4. From Atlanta, Georgia, the Frigidaires. From Seattle, the Woodhavens. From Minnesota, I believe, the Swangos.
Oh, yeah.
They're either Minnesota or Michigan, I forget. Jimmy Dale, Dick Dale's son. The Surf Coasters from Japan, and then finishing with Deadbolt. The Taboo Tiki Room, the other room. Saturday, we have... my eyes are bad, I'm sorry. We start off with Voodoo. Now, some of the bands in the Taboo Tiki Room are Friends of Surf or surf adjacent type bands. So we start off with Voodoo. Then we have the Wanna B-52s. That's a B-52s tribute band, but they're only doing songs from the first 2 albums. They're not doing no Love Shack or stuff like that. And then we finish with M Squad. Oh, M Squad has a new album out, so that's why they're playing all 3 nights. It's them playing there is like their release party weekend. And then on Sunday we have the Ding Dong Devils doing 4 sets, and then M Squad finishing up with 3 sets. There is, if you see it online, there is a little QR code there that you can scan. Okay. So I'm going to do a post on Facebook. For those who don't know me, I'm Jeff Hanson, aka Big Tiki Dude, and I'll be posting this, the original front side, and the original back side. I'll be posting that again. Like I said, we've done so many flyers trying to get different attention. And I want to get back to the original, especially since we spent some good money on it, and it is nice artwork. And we're going to have a big, huge one of these. The last 3 years, we've done it in foam board, where it's like 4 or 5 feet wide and 7 feet high. And we have it right when you walk in the lobby, and you can take pictures in front of it like they do at movie premieres and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Some of the real big sponsors, real quick. Quilter is giving us one of those little amps where it goes on your pedal board. So it's not, an amp and a speaker type thing. It's just this, it looks like an effects pedal, but it's actual amp. Tiki or Lace Pickups is donating a Tiki guitar where it looks like a Tele, but it's got all kinds of Tiki stuff all over it. Surfing Industry stuff I mentioned before. Eastwood Guitars, I believe it's a side jack. I still have it in the box. I need to open it, take a picture, and post that on social media. And then, of course, all our other sponsors, please check them out online and buy their great stuff. We have Taboo Recordings, Double Crown Records. My partner, or one of my partners, is Art from Music Recordings, Reverb International, High Tide Records, Surf Cookie from Greece, Otitis Media from Texas. I just got contacted from Noah. He's actually coming. He'll be staying at my place. Vintage Guitar. What's that?
I said, that's awesome. He gets to go.
Yeah, he's stoked. He can't stay Sunday. He's got to get home. It's his wife's birthday on Monday. So, but he wants to come and bend. All the labels, they always do really well when they're there and they sell. So there's incentive for them to come. Vintage Guitar Magazine will send us a couple boxes of a current issue. Valco is an effects pedal from the Eastwood Company, and that's like a distortion fuzz type thing. Surf King Surfwear is one of our big sponsors. Again, my brain sucks. I just talked to the guy, Bob from Surf King Surfwear. He donates a nice chunk of change every year for us to print these flyers, and that is no small feat. We did 10,000 flyers the last couple of years. So Bob from Surf King Surfwear, check out his shirts. They're very, very cool. He'll be printing some of the Sean Dickinson Surf Guitar 101, where it's the little cartoon guy on a surfboard with a guitar. He's going to do about 50 of those, so those will go pretty quick. And then, of course, Dionysus Records, Lee from Dionysus, he helps us with a lot of promo. He's getting us some online interviews and some newspaper placement. Real quick, the backside of the flyer, some more sponsors. Austin Ribbon Microphones is donating a couple things. Storm Surger Reverb, Alameda Guitars. That's Mel from Meshuggah Beach Party. He does the clam shack guitar. He's donating a fuzz pedal. Nocturne Pedals out of San Diego. He's donating a boost called the Marquesan. Laguna Tropical Radio. That's a radio show in Laguna Beach, and they do like Hawaiian and surf. WAIF and the Rockin' and Surfin' show. That's Midwest Surf Guy. He'll be coming again. I think he's come every year, or maybe missed one or two. Reverb Junkies, Steve, the guy that put that out, the movie, he said that they only have like about 100 left of those, and he'll be there vending. KFJC, that's the station that Cousin Mary's on, that Phil Dirt used to be on. She'll be there. Custom Deluxe Printing, that's my friend Jason. He actually prints the flyers and does the layout on the back. And then all the other flyers that we've printed over the last 2 months, he's done all those also. So thank you, Jason, very much. Appreciate it. GTF Instrumental, and the shows on there: Clint Beachwood's Day at the Beach, DJ Dotty's Paradise Cove, Rattlesnake Cables. We just got confirmation that they're sending a bunch of different things. John Paul from Fiberglass Jungle, that's on luxuriamusic.com. And I believe that is it. Oh, Colorado Instrumental Fanzine. And what's the other one? The Reverb International magazines. Both of those will be there at the event. And I think they have new issues also. Whew.
I hear Colorado Instrumental Fanzine has got some big to announce at the show.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, I'm not going to give it away.
Well, I know, but like they're going to put out a recording or something, or you can't even say that.
They are, but I don't want to out his.
No, that's fine. Yeah, we don't want to steal anybody's thunder. I just, I don't want to hear that he's going to be like having a sex change or something.
No. It's all good stuff.
Okay, good. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but. So, all right, stellarshows.com. Stellarshows.net. That's where you get your tickets. General admission or seated. And if you get the seated, you're guaranteed a seat. If you get general admission, there are chairs, but not enough for everybody. So if you need a chair, definitely best to get seated. Oh, one thing I need to announce real quick. I almost forgot. Our prices for this year are actually lower than last year. We lowered it by like $20 or $30. So
that's great.
Yeah, so all things are going up. We went down. So we hope that some people will appreciate that and help support us. Also, one other thing, maybe I can share it on my Facebook page, but for those of you that are on surfguitar101.com, the forum, and I know that the guy from the Colorado magazine, he just posted on his page also. My friend Bob Higginson, he's a local fan here in Southern California. He came up with the idea after seeing it on other pages, like a radio station that he listens to, where you can donate. So he said, if you never come to the event or you can't come this year, but you know that we're doing good things and you like seeing the videos on YouTube after, you can actually support the event. So you can make a donation. I believe it's in increments of 25, but I'm not positive. But that's on the Stellar. Nice. Yeah, that's on the stellarshows.net, where you get the tickets. You can make donations. Bob, that came up with the idea, he made a $200 donation as soon as it went live. And he's going to the show. He's here. And he made a $200 donation. So, Bob, thank you so much. 2 years ago, when he came to the event, he was like, what do you need? And he went to Home Depot, and he spent a couple $100 in buying me, bungee cords, and duct tape, and all different kinds of things that we would need. Extension cords, it was a wild, so I'm eternally grateful to Bob. He's the coolest guy.
Awesome. I encourage everybody to be more like your friends like Bob, to support the scene in any way that they can. Donations, I'm assuming, can be made all year round.
I don't know about that. I mean, as soon as the tickets go live, back in January or February, you could go make a donation. But as soon as the show's over, I think it would stop for 6 months or so. But I think we're going to keep that up, in the coming years. It's a good idea, because there's a lot of people there's a lot of people that want to come, and they either can't afford it or they're too old to travel. And they're like, oh, we want a live stream. And I did a live stream one year, and the attendance dropped dramatically. So I won't do a live stream, but a lot of people that come to the event, video it on their phone or with real cameras, and then they post YouTube videos later, whether it be a whole set or like 2 or 3 songs, So you get the feel for it. But the thing for me is, I've never gotten goosebumps from watching a video on YouTube. Something can be really, really good, but it doesn't affect me where it's like that ice pick in the ear sound and you get a shiver, So you got to come to the festival. It's amazing to see, that many people, in one room, and that they get it and they're all in surf. Last year, right before the ghastly ones went on, I went on the stage and I gave away a guitar, and I was looking out at the crowd. And Dave, the keyboard player, took a picture and posted it. And to see that room full of 600 people was just amazing. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. We don't know about this year, but the last 2 years did sell out on the Saturday night. We hit like 550, So if you do want to come, don't dilly-dally. There's a discount if you buy the tickets in advance. If you pay at the door, that's going to go up a little bit too. I don't know exactly how much. So if you buy 3 days, you save money. If you buy in advance, you save money. If you buy 3 days, you get put in the drawing to win a ticket for next year. So there's so many incentives.
Awesome. The one message I got out of all this is that everybody is putting their effort in to donate their time, their resources, and their love and hard work, just to make sure that this happens and keeps the music alive. And I think that's a huge part of the community that makes surf special.
Exactly. That's what I've tried to tell people over the years. Most people that play surf do it for the love of the music. There's, over the years, there's only been a handful of bands, Dick Dale, The Ventures, Straight Jackets, Manor Man, where they do it for a living. But most bands I know, whether it be local or from somewhere else or even another country, they all have day jobs. They do other things, so no one's in this.
That actually makes me upset that people can't just focus on being a musician.
Well, I take it back. You got Messer Chups and Surfer Joe. They're also.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
But still, that's 10. That do it for a living. That everybody else has a day job. And yeah, I get it. But But again, sorry, just dropped it. It makes me realize that the people that do play surf love it so intensely that they do it even though they're not making a living at it, so it means that they really, really like it, and for all those bands that send me stuff, videos and links for their records and stuff all the time, there's hundreds and hundreds of bands. I can't have you all at one time, so I'm working my way, through the list, but, at the same time, I need to have bands that are big and popular and good, that draw well. So, as I said before, with the event, and the economy, we may have to get smaller. We may have to go back down to a one-day event, maybe a small bar show before and a small bar show after. Maybe not 3 days at the hotel, but if enough people come and enough people buy tickets, we'll stay at the hotel and we'll stay 3 days. People have always wanted, myself and others have always wanted a 3-day weekender, like Tiki Oasis, like Viva Las Vegas, like Surfer Joe. Now we're there. Help me keep it going. Whether it be coming to the event or making a donation at stellarshows.net, where you get the tickets for the event. I feel kind of weird, asking for that, like I'm begging or whatever. But somebody else brought it up and said, look, it's on this radio station, and other bands have done it. So I was like, ran it past my partner.
I mean, if everybody pulls together, it's not such a huge effort on one part, right?
Yeah, and then after it was posted, there was another guy that made a $25 donation, within a few minutes. So it's like, well, cool, it's working. That was the other thing I need to say. I want to thank so much. Sometimes I get a little freaked out. We have like curveballs and problems that are thrown at us. And I would like to thank my partners, Art from Music Recordings and Christopher from Stellar Shows, for A, helping me, and B, for putting up with my BS, because sometimes I can get a little freaked out and angry and obnoxious. So I'd like to thank both of them immensely, especially this year.
Well, I mean, what you're doing is not easy, and it's extremely stressful, and it's a labor of love, and I think people know.
Had I thought about it or been more conscious about, I hate to keep going back to it, but the political climate, I should have gone with 20 bands, 22 bands, and maybe not had so many or any international bands. But here we are, and Christopher from Stellar Shows is like, hey, it's 2 months away, should we cancel? I'm like, no, we can't do that. There's a bunch of people that got airline tickets and hotel rooms and car rentals. I was like, if we were going to do that, you do it early in the year. It was like late May or early June, and he was like, we're not doing well on ticket sales. Do we want to pull the plug? And I was like, no, man, it's full steam ahead. So he told me. Go ahead.
Oh, I say the show must go on.
Yeah. So he told me recently, what the numbers were and what our how much money we had, and he was like, we still need to sell a lot of tickets, but it wasn't as bad as it was a month ago. So it's a slow trickle, but hopefully, we'll cross the finish line not having to pull any money out of our own pockets.
Please join our Patreon page to get special behind-the-scenes footage and segments exclusive to Patreon, YouTube updates, also a sneak peek of what's coming next week, merch, and also services, free flash drive exclusively for segments in the band.